right, we have made it to our next destination, our next work exchange that we're going to be doing for the next 2 weeks. And we are camped here in the side yard of this eco-village in the awesome little ski town of Ruidoso, New Mexico. And we are actually only about 2.5 hours north of the Mexican border, and you would never guess it by the vibe of this little town. It would seem like you're up north. There's bear carvings and pines and beautiful mountain streams all over the place. It's a cool little sleepy ski town at an elevation of about 6,900 feet. It has this beautiful weather here, this mild 4 seasons weather, lots of pines and cool little shops in the downtown area. And also lots and lots of wildlife, deer and elk galore. So like I said, we'll be staying here for the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to be putting in their garden and doing some of their landscaping. In exchange, I get to camp on their land for free or use their utilities, and my food is free. And I also get to explore this awesome area while I'm staying here. All right, it's the next morning, and we are camping in their side yard here. Look at the size of some of these cottonwood trees. You can definitely tell there's water in the ground here. They have the Ruidoso River goes right through the side of the property, so they have no problem with water. And of course, it's quite different here than our last place. We are in trees and pine trees, cottonwood trees, and we're right in town, or they call it a village, but it's got a pretty good population of people, and we hear traffic and other things that we are not used to hearing. And since we're at 6,900 feet in elevation, the temperature is wonderful. It's upper 70s right now. So they've shown me their garden area and what they want me to do. This is last year's garden area that needs to be cleaned out, and this is this year's future garden area that's never been tilled or worked up. They have mountains of composted wood mulch that I'm going to add to the soil to amend it, along with other things. Over here they have their compost pile. They have mountains of supplies, and it's just not put together in any kind of organized bins, so we're going to work on that also. Over here we have a barn that we're going to be improving the door and critter proofing it. They have some chickens and little quail in there that I'll show you later. We have some timbers to make our edge for our garden, and this is the area I'm going to be concentrating on mainly. There's one. Oh, here comes the little buck. So we got 2 bucks and a little bitty guy. Yeah, they're pretty tame. I think they come in here looking for stuff to eat every day. Yeah, we better go on. Let's see how they don't get hit by cars. Not quite sure if I can shoo them off. Go on. I want you to get hit by cars, but I don't want you in here. Go on. Go on. Now I'm going to go the other way. Go on. Go on. Go on. Several years ago, they had a wildfire up in the mountains, so a lot of the wildlife is still coming down here to get greenery when it's dry like this in the early summer. Alright, this bed we're gonna put some green beans, whole beans, with this trellis along the house here. So they have these little Texas A&M white quail, and they gave me some eggs, and they have been delicious. I'm gonna have my second breakfast here after working out in the garden a little bit in the morning. I got eggs, bacon, half of an avocado, and a tiny bit of cheese. Alright, so I'm all restocked with fruits and vegetables, and to be honest with you, everything but the bananas came from the dumpster. One of the guys that lives here in the eco village notifies them when it's going to be thrown out so they can nab it so it can be recycled. Alright, I'm right here in the front yard, and we're going to zoom in on them. The dog just barked, so they spooked and they went over here to munch on the bushes, but this is some elk. Yeah, they come down out of the mountains to look for greenery, and obviously they're munching up the bushes. Yep, just kind of looking at the cars going by. Some other dogs are barking at them too. We're finally going to cross the road. After they ate all the bushes. That one's got to back up. That's why the fence breaks, probably 'cause them trying to jump over it. Wait for this car. Watch out for the truck. The truck's coming. Yeah, you better go out the opening. There it is, right there. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, eat a little bit more leaves before you go. Better check the garden, make sure nobody's in the garden. Alright, we have the garden tilled up twice, and we've added our compost stuff here, which is mainly bark that is broke down now, wood chips. Bone meal has been added. We're going to wet it down with the hose and till it in one more time, and then we'll continue with the timbers. Alright, we got some onions and sunflowers planted in the back, and squash, cucumbers. And over in this area we are prepping the beds, adding more good dirt, and dividing up the beds with more timbers so we can walk through there and get to it more easily. And we have our compost bins all done, and we're going to start putting all the piles of this. We have some wood mulch and pine needles and grass, and all of these garbage cans are all coffee grounds, and we got a lot of vegetable scraps to add in there. But these are nice and big, so can accommodate all of this stuff that we have. Alright, we have the fence up around the garden. A few things planted in here. So I just transplanted lots of little plants, and the sun is pretty harsh. So I have little shade things that I made. 2 bigger rocks. Found these grates in the garbage or in their recycling stuff, and put a little pine needles so they've made it through the harsh sun, and gradually remove that. I did that also over here with the watermelon, and you can look that up and see they're not wilted and scorched.
started pretty good, and that worked pretty good.
We have the fence super tall all around the edge to keep out the deer and the elk that pretty much visit almost every day. There's our morning deer. They're coming into the yard. There's a car trying to...
Sitting right there trying to wait for them.
There they are. Yep, here they all come. Alright, I better go check the garden to make sure nobody's in there. Alright, it looks safe, but let's go over to the chicken house. Oh, look what we caught this morning. A nice looking raccoon. Are you trying to get in the chicken house? Are you trying to get in the chicken house? Yeah, we're gonna have to take her somewhere else, aren't we? There's wire buried down all along the edge, even underneath the door, and all the way down there where the chickens can come out. We got a bed frame here for a door latch. There's a couple little, there's 4 young chicks. Alright, we're gonna come in here and look at the little quail. Check on everybody, make sure everybody's okay. Alright, it looks like everybody is okay in here. It doesn't look like anything has gotten in here. But boy, you can see how it's a real battle to keep your little livestock alive and grow some vegetables without them getting eaten. Look at them hopping around. Woo! So they raise these little white Texas A&M quail. They're really good choice for in a town kind of setting where you have to be quiet and can't have stuff crowing. They don't take up much space, and they produce a lot of little eggs that are really nutritious, and they're fun to have. Alright, the compost piles are looking good. We watered them last night. Got a bunch of vegetables hidden down in this one already. I'm going to add all the coffee grounds and more pine needles. There's the fence and the garden bed. We got some stuff planted in it and some seeds and a few plants. I have some little shade stuff. I have to hide the drip, the soaker hose yet. And we got some stuff in here and just starting to mulch it. This was just a quick little tour around this eco-village, trying to respect other people's privacy. There is 9 families that live here. They have a line of fruit trees over here on the side that some people water and take care of. Some people work and take care of stuff right on the property in exchange for living here. Others do have outside jobs. Here's their nice fruit trees, have apples on them. I've been doing a little bit of their landscaping, planting some bushes, keeping stuff watered, and I'm getting towards the end of my 2 weeks, so I'm going to show you the garden and what we've finished with. So as you can see, we had to do a huge fence because of all the wildlife trying to get in there. And I started quite a few of the things right in the ground from seed. It's warm enough here. I have the squash. They are up now, and a lot of the seeds. We did buy a few plants. The cucumbers are up now. We have a tomato plant here and some more zucchini. And in the back we have the watermelons that are doing great. We added soaker hoses and a mulching and hiding everything to try to help it be easier for them to take care of once I leave and not have quite so many weeds. I have green beans coming up here, and I have potatoes in trenches right next to it. They wanted me to do an experiment and put some squares of carpet down and plant in there versus mulching. We'll see how that goes. And then we have our compost bins where we've added a bunch of layers, and that is about it.
Alright, getting ready for supper. Gonna do a little bit of stir fry here. Have some zucchinis. This was like a gray squash, yellow squash, a little bit of sweet potatoes, and yellow peppers. And I got some grass-fed beef here from the store that I'm gonna
Make a hamburger and cook my vegetables and make some guacamole with about half of an avocado. And after we're done eating here, we're gonna go walk around the downtown of Ruidoso. Since we are staying right in town, we can walk everywhere and check out the cool little shops in this neat little ski town. This town sits at the base of the Sierra Blanca Mountains, so you can go up into the mountains and ski in the winter, and it's mild down here in the rest of the year. Obviously, aliens are pretty popular here in New Mexico, but there's also a lot of bear carvings because I guess Smokey Bear was originated here in New Mexico, and there's lots of pines and such for these carvings.
Wow. Look at the size of some of them.
Bigger than me.
Look at the size of this one.
It's on a stump like that. It's still super big.
Alright, we got eagles. Alright, we're looking here. Yeah, that's pretty.
It's an eagle.
Mm-hmm.
There's a dinosaur. Ace, I think.
Flowers and stuff, but it doesn't have much of a smell. We're actually smelling this yellow bush down here, and it has an incredible smell.
This is the famous Midtown Bear. It's kind of like a little landmark. All kinds of cool little shops and kind of a cabin, kind of northern feel down here. Old-timey signs and lots of cabins to rent. Kind of a tourist town that comes alive in certain seasons. Alright, we are done with our 2-week stay. This was an awesome experience in this area, and we are going to find our next camping spot up in the mountains at a higher elevation where it's nice and cool for tonight. And as always, thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already.